Hey there everyone, welcome to my epic California road trip. My name is Jay and I'm about to take you on a journey through the stunning landscapes of the Golden State. Get ready to experience the thrill of winding coastal highways and the awe-inspiring beauty of California's national parks. Let's hit the road. Before we get started, it would mean the world to me if you can give this video a like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you, now onto the video. We drove to California from Texas and made a few stops in New Mexico and Arizona along the way. Our first stop was Shiprock in New Mexico. This was a very brief stop, but a nice detour. This place is definitely a gem, and we only saw 2 cars while we were here. After Shiprock, we made another very quick stop at the Four Corners Monument. This monument is significant because this is where the boundaries of Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona, and Utah meet. Our next stop for the day was Monument Valley. Monument Valley is an iconic symbol of the American Southwest and has been featured in many Western movies and TV shows. It was even featured in Forrest Gump when Forrest stopped running. We headed to Page, Arizona, where we camped at Glen Canyon National Recreation Area. Check out this epic camping spot where we stayed at. We started early the next day because we booked a tour to go see Antelope Canyon. Antelope Canyon is on Navajo tribal land, and the only way you can see it is by booking a tour with one of the Navajo tour companies. The tour guide was very helpful and pointed out all the great photo ops. I am not a photographer by all means, but these were the photos that I took. I wouldn't be able to take these shots if it weren't for the tour guide. After Antelope Canyon, we made a quick stop at the Glen Canyon Dam Overlook before heading to California. We finally made it to California, and our first stop in the state was Sequoia National Park. We checked out some petroglyphs at Hospital Rock before going to the Visitor Center. After visiting the Giant Forest Museum and Visitor Center, we hiked the Big Trees Trail. Like many trails in Sequoia, this one was paved and relatively easy. No visit to Sequoia will be complete without seeing the world's largest tree, the General Sherman tree. This trail is the busiest in the park, and I recommend starting this trail very early to avoid the crowds and the long lines to take pictures with the tree. If you want to get away from the crowds, continue on the General Sherman Trail until you hit the Congress Trail. This is another easy trail and is totally worth the additional 2 miles. We hardly saw anyone and it felt like we had the whole forest to ourselves. We kicked off day 2 at Sequoia by checking out Tunnel Log before hiking up Morrow Rock. At half a mile round trip, this hike is very short but also very steep with stairs making up most of the trail, but the views at the top is totally worth the effort. Right next to Sequoia is Kings Canyon National Park, which is home to the second largest tree in the world, the Gentle Grant tree. Kings Canyon is often overlooked, but you do not want to miss out on visiting this park. We took Scenic Highway 180 down into the canyon. Our first stop into the canyon was Roaring River Falls. The water was emerald green and we decided to take the cold plunge into the pool at the base of the waterfall. Before calling it a day, we hiked the Zumwalt Meadow Trail. This trail had great views of the river, Zumwalt Meadow, and granite cliffs hanging over the canyon. Our next destination was Yosemite National Park. Yosemite is arguably one of the most beautiful national parks in the USA. Unfortunately, Yosemite Falls was dry when we visited, but we were still excited to explore the park. I wanted to check out El Capitan because I watched a documentary free solo about Alex Honnold prior to our trip. We ventured into Yosemite's high country by driving up Tioga Road. If you want to escape the overcrowding in Yosemite Valley, you need to drive up this road. One of our favorite places in the park is right off Tioga Road, Tenaya Lake. Tenaya Lake is an alpine lake with an elevation of 8,150 feet above sea level. We wanted to relax for the day because we have a big hike the next day. We are going to hike Half Dome. We attempted to wake up early the next day, but we didn't get up early as anticipated. We were camping about 30 minutes from the west entrance of the park, so we didn't start the hike until 7 a.m. In order to hike Half Dome, you'll have to take the Mist Trail until you hit the junction for Half Dome and the John Muir Trail. You'll see two waterfalls along this trail. The first one is Vernal Falls. The second waterfall is Nevada Falls, and it is about a mile away from the top of Vernal Falls. After Nevada Falls, you'll find yourself in Little Yosemite Valley. This portion of the hike is relatively flat and will be the last section before the vegetation gets thinner. Eventually, you will traverse the sub-dome section and make it to the base of Half Dome. The cable section is very steep and I recommend wearing gloves to grip the cables. After you make it to the summit, you'll be rewarded with 360 views of Yosemite Valley. Here's some videos I took descending Half Dome. It was much easier going down than up. The next day we headed to Ventura, California, where we took a boat to Channel Islands National Park. The company we used was Island Packers. The boat ride was fun because a pod of dolphins were following us trying to keep up with the boat. We arrived at Santa Cruz Island, where we would be camping at for the night. After setting up camp, we hiked to the Potato Harbor overlook. After Potato Harbor, we then hiked to the east side of the island, Smuggler's Cove. It's important to have plenty of water before hiking here. Most of the trails are very exposed and it can get very hot. We made it to the cove, but we did not get in the water because Pacific water is super cold and there were a ton of rocks on the beach. Rain clouds came out of nowhere, so we decided to hike back to our campsite. Also, there were a ton of island foxes roaming this park. You can only find this species of fox on the Channel Islands. The next day, we returned back to the mainland and headed up the Pacific Coast Highway. Our first stop on the highway was Seal Beach Overlook. There were a ton of elephant seals fighting with each other and sleeping on the beach. I can see why people call seals the dogs of the ocean, because they really do act like dogs in a way. We passed through a few good lookout points before making it to McWay Falls, located in Julia Pfeiffer Burns State Park. We finally made it to the famous Bixby Creek Bridge. This is probably the most famous stop in Big Sur. This bridge was built in 1932 and sits 260 feet above the bottom of the canyon. Our time at Big Sur was cut short, and I wish we had spent a little bit more time here. After Big Sur, we headed inland and stayed the night camping at Pinnacles National Park. We arrived late in the day and only had time to hike to Bear Gulch. For our last stop of the trip, we visited Death Valley National Park. We only spent a few hours here because we were staying the night in Vegas to rest before heading back home to Texas. To end off the video, I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. We did this road trip back in August of 2021 and I finally decided to upload it. I have more videos coming out soon and I hope to see y'all in the next one.